So in this chapter, I just want to have a little refresh memory, if I remember. After performing beautiful pastime on this earthly planet, Lord Krishna himself returned to the absolute abode, because this is your first day after some time. I want to just refresh where we are in Bhagavatam at this moment. So I'm just going to give you a little summary of it. So after performing beautiful pastime in Vrindavan, then Dwarka, Mathura, after the last demon was killed, before Krishna entered to Vrindavan and took all the Brajavasis away, and also in Dwarka, he took them to Prabhas, where they all disappear also. And everything was very depressing. So Arjuna went to Dwarka and he noticed also that Krishna just left. And he saw the whole episode of Jodu Bangsha Dhangsa. You know that Sanskrit word, Hindi word, Jodu Bangsha Dhangsa. But then what happened? The devotees who loves Krishna and is always thinking of Krishna ultimately attains Krishna's abode. So Sutta Goswami describes a series of personalities who lived in perfection, thus left in perfection. Queen Kunti, the Pandavas, the Vidura, Draupadi, Subhadra, all went back to Godhead. We can relate to Bhakticharu Maharaj, Sripad Bhakticharu Maharaj, similar. When Prabhupada left, similar pattern. This 12th chapter, 13th chapter, 14th chapter, 15th chapter, this 4th chapter related to this. Then Maharaj Parikshit also left, a great devotee himself, would also perfect his life, attain the absolute. So there is a lot of similar beautiful pastimes that we can relate. Parikshit Maharaj's birth, of course, was very threatened by Aswathama, and then ultimately Krishna protected. And we also, I'm sure if you remember, you also read the Dhritarashtra, how he departed from this world. So these are like sequence, one by one they're coming. Previously, insulted by Dhritarashtra, Vidura had left the palace and embarked on a pilgrimage. After completing his travel, Vidura still felt a deep compassion for his misguided brother. There are so many things we can learn from this chapter, that how it relates to us. Before you all became devotee, before I became devotee also, what we were focusing? Can you hear me, the sound?
Yes.
Okay.
Like enjoyment, health, wealth, prosperity, success.
Yes, we are focusing on the material world where the material facility of sense enjoyment is there. That is correct. So then we join Hare Krishna movement, and it appears like we are escaping from the material world. Even though we are in the material world, you can relate when Maharaj was present and when this world, the Krishna consciousness was so appealing. Krishna consciousness is so appealing that we almost like feel such a relief, such a great. Even though we are in the material world, but we did not see the effect of the material world, we are focusing on Gurudev, we are focusing on Krishna, we are focusing on Prabhupada. So then, what happened? So this is the important part that we should remember, that practically what happened to our life, that experience we have, the experience that we have, we can apply this to progress in our spiritual path. And that is needed. This is what demonstrated in this life. See, Arjuna is right now in grief. He is expressing his grief, but he will narrate the realization of Bhagavad Gita, what he heard before the war began. I don't know if it ever happened to you to find out why Krishna is telling him about this yoga, karma yoga. First is Bishad yoga. The first chapter is Bishad yoga. It's depressing, because Krishna is telling him to be detached from this material world, and he could not do it. So the title is given on the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bishad yoga. Bishad means despondence. And then second chapter given Sankha yoga. Oh, your identity is misled. Actually you are a soul. You should not lament for the bodily thing or bodily compassion, bodily mercy, bodily. What about who truly you are in constitutional position as a soul? Third chapter is Karma Yoga. So if you look at this, all this, what was needed for Arjuna at that time in the battlefield. Now in this chapter, in last 4th chapter also, the Bhagavad Gita is actually spoken in a realized form. If everybody remember, there is 3 types of knowledge when we join to Hare Krishna society. One is acquired knowledge. Acquired knowledge means you hear. You keep in your pocket, in your heart. Oh, I heard from Guru Maharaj this, I heard from Bhagavatam this, I heard Chaitanya Charitamrita say this, I heard from that Maharaj say this. So you like acquire. Well, there is a time you start applying that knowledge. When you start applying the knowledge, it becomes realized knowledge. You all can hear, right?
Yes.
Okay. I hear some sound in between, I just don't know what it is. So then acquired knowledge become realized knowledge when you apply the philosophy, what you heard from your guru, from different devotees. Then after you realizing, your real devotion actually began. Acquired knowledge also devotion, but it is a mix, not with clear guidance. So when you are realize knowledge, you are pursuing further to progress, and you express 2 things. Your endeavor externally, internally you are your bhava. One is Chesta Rupa, one is Bhava Rupa. Chesta Rupa, okay, you are thinking this, you are physically cleaning the temple or cooking or something. But internally, you are thinking, oh, Gurudev is to do this, oh, Krishna would be happy if I do this. So internal revelation started. In the beginning, acquired knowledge stage, internal is not that much. That's why you see not so many devotees are interested into philosophy or understanding this philosophy so much. They are not so much into study even. But they are having, okay, wonderful time. They escape from focusing to the material world to now spiritual world. It appears like they are trying to escape. So, of course, escapism is not Vaishnavism. So what happened when you are withdrawing your emotional investment from attachment to the material world to the spiritual, then there is some relief. You will see lot of people when they join, they feel very happy. Then what happened? After a little while, they forgot the second steps. The second steps is they supposed to apply the philosophy what they heard in practical level with their external duty. So that's called Chestarupa and Bhavarupa. Chestarupa means you do through your mind, through your body, through your speech. But Bhavarupa means like a gardening. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says gardening. Why we are bringing this example? Because Arjuna, this is what happening. He acquired knowledge in the battlefield and he surrendered. We also feel like we surrendered. We want to follow our Guru and Krishna. Arjuna also did. But now the knowledge is becoming realized and he is pouring out his emotion. You follow? This is needed.
Yes.
This is needed. All of us, we are crying in separation from Bhakticharan Maharaj, from Prabhupada, from Krishna. These are needed. These are compulsory. Maybe we heard this the moment we joined, but it went through other ear, it did not go to the heart. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Karnaranda Pathadiya Ridi Maje Pravesiya Sabdarupe Bari Shaya Anupam Hridaya Hoite Bole Jibbara Agrete Chale Sabdarupe Nache Anukhan. The hearing process, the spiritual process, that it has to go through the ear hole to the heart. But sometimes it does not go through to the heart, it just slips through the other ear. And this is in the beginning stage. So Krishna create a atmosphere like I was talking to Krishna Radha Prabhu that when Gurudev leaves, you really think what you have lost. What most valuable things you had. You know, like if you are given $5 billion diamond in your possession, you really don't know the value of 5 billion. It's just a figure. You really don't know. You are struggling. But then, by the time you are figuring out that how valuable it is, and you don't know what happened, you misplaced it. And you are now scared. You cannot tell others because they may come and take it, they may find it, you'll never have access. And you don't know where you left it last time, and you're going crazy. Now you're giving the value more and more. The third stage is when you find that valuable diamond, then you give so much attention because you come from an experience of losing the most valuable things in your life, and then you never want to lose anymore. So similarly, when we had our Guru, when we had our Krishna, Arjuna had Krishna as a friend. He did even chariot ride and he did all kinds of things. But he also heard the whole Bhagavad Gita. But did he pay attention so much? Yes, he did pay attention, but realized the importance of Krishna's valuation, how valuable Krishna's friendship is, how valuable is Gurudev's lotus feet is, how valuable the Krishna's relationship is. It's valued when? Is measured when? Question may come, when? In separation. In separation, we value the person's presence. In absence, we always find the value of the person's presence. So, in absence of Krishna, Arjuna is now giving the value. How valuable Krishna was in his life. And he is going to next verse, you will see one by one, so many pastime in his life that, oh my God, it was only Krishna who actually was making Arjuna happy. Now you think, would you join to Krishna consciousness movement if it was not Maharaj, a kind, merciful, spiritual master like Maharaj? So you will value, and that, of course, I'm not saying that we did not value when he was present, but in the absence we give his value from a different angle. That angle was not there in his presence. So Arjuna had a Krishna, and Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita. The acquired knowledge becomes now realized knowledge, and now this realized knowledge is going to give him a third stage. Third stage is called revealed knowledge. So first is acquired knowledge, second is realized knowledge, third is revealed knowledge. Similarly, all the disciples of Bhakti Charu Maharaj is the same position as Arjuna. Now they are applying the philosophy, what they heard from Maharaj, how it is applicable to us, how are we going to see him, how are we going to such a feeling comfort that somebody is there for me if I do wrong, if I go off, if I am not inspired, if I have some doubt who to reveal, Arjuna is feeling the same thing. Arjuna is feeling the same thing. It's a very, very, very interesting. So, what should we do? As we mentioned, that we have to realize that when we joined, we are serving under Maharaj, we felt like we are not in this world. Even though we are driving, we are honoring prasadam, we are living in this world, but we did not focus on that. Now we see that, oh, we are still in the world. And he left, he went to spiritual world. Arjuna is feeling the same thing. Krishna went to spiritual world and I'm left here. Who am I? He's evaluating. We can also value, who am I? Okay, Maharaj accepted me. That was his kindness. Krishna has accepted me as his friend. Even though I had so much fault, Arjuna is feeling guilty like this and he's crying and crying. We also feel, okay, I had so many faults, but Maharaj never withdrawn his mercy. When one devotee was in India, he's an American devotee, he went to some kind of intoxication. And because Prabhupada was not there and Prabhupada heard it, so then Tamal Krishna Maharaj narrated this story, then they reported to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada immediately said, go and tell him, if he does not give up, I will reject him. He is no more my disciple. So they reported immediately that Prabhupada heard your bad behavior with this intoxication. Either you give up or he will reject you. He was so scared that he immediately gave up. And he came back and he cried. So now question is, Prabhupada was there before. Why this scenario had to take place? Because sometimes Krishna create this. Pure devotee create this kind of scenario so that we come back to our process of purification. He went to India to purify, but then he went off. So sometimes we also go off from the spiritual path, not become serious. Then Gurudev has to leave this world to give that separation feeling. That separation feeling will bring close to his lotus feet, close to Krishna's lotus feet. This is needed. We have to realize another thing also. Of course, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked Prabhupada, would you really reject him if he did not come? Prabhupada says, no, of course not. I'll never reject once I accept. But I had to tell him so that he can be straightened. So similarly we can think, is another big issue amongst our God brother, God sister, that we are in this world, we forget that our purpose is not to be attached, not to be detached. Then what? No attachment, no detachment, but engagement. That is needed. No attachment, no detachment, but engagement. This is called bhakti. This is bhakti, and by performing this way we can go back home, back to Godhead. But before that, in order to prepare and perform this pure bhakti, we have to come to this understanding that who are around me, whether it is in Dilan or Ujjain or anywhere or in Alachua, who are the devotees around me? They are devotees. Krishna, how Krishna placed me with them and how they placed in these circumstances, this is very important at this moment. That Krishna put me in this situation because I have a relationship with all those devotees. Because I have a relationship with all those devotees, everyone around is like Krishna's arrangement that I have to grow with this family member. This is very important. Just like Dhritarashtra, the previous chapter you read, I'm sure, this is chapter 15, chapter 14. Dhritarashtra, he found himself a deep emotional dependence. But bhakti produces detachment, that is absence of emotional dependence. Are you there? Haribol? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
What happened? Is it?
No, okay.
Okay. What happened? The electricity went off.
Battery died.
Okay. So, where I left, I forgot. Anyway, the idea is,
He said, talk about the three parts, and the third part is the reveal part.
Say it again, mother, loudly.
So, first separation, then application, and then reveal.
Very good. Acquired knowledge, then realized knowledge, then revealed knowledge. So, are you prepared? Everybody is prepared for the revealed knowledge?
Yes.
You better prepare because it is going to come. When you join, majority of the God brother, God sister, all the devotees, that's what they did. They acquired knowledge. Oh, Gurudev said this, Gurudev said that, Bhakti Prem Maharaj said this Prabhu said this. They just acquire, like a collecting. But then they did not apply too much, very little, because we just carry on the service. What is that means applying? Means internal operation is taking place now. What we heard, we are deeply applying it. And as we apply, as Arjuna applying now, he is crying. Oh, Krishna did this. Oh, even in the beginning he started, you will see in a few verses he will start that in the conquering Draupadi, this is something we need to learn in our life right now with this applying knowledge. That Arjuna thought he is very powerful. Now if you remember, in 2 minutes I will tell the story, just part of that, that Pandavas, they were dressed as a Brahmana. Now when Brahmana comes to this ceremony, and Draupadi declared that she is going to marry only Kshatriya or Brahmana and nobody else. The moment she said this, it was too much. Karna was like a very angry, didn't know what to do because he is not considered as a Kshatriya or Brahmana. So he is out, and these 5 Brahmanas are there, disguised form, the Pancha Pandavas. They disguise as a Brahmana. And when Arjuna literally won, everybody was shocked. How is possible that their Brahmana is such a wonderful Kshatriya caliber, Kshatriya macho guys mentality was like a very confusing. Now, this is something very good that, of course, you know the Mahabharata, how Arjuna was challenging with Karna and Shalya was challenging with Bhima over there. Bhima was a disguised Brahmana, but you know what he did? He picked up like a big tree and he is swirling so powerfully, all the Kshatriya got scared. They said, how is this Brahmana can do such things? We are Kshatriya, we are invited to show our power. And they were scared. So there was a problem between the Brahmana and the Kshatriya. But they are not Brahmana, they are actually Panchapanda, but nobody knew at that time. So in the challenge match, that Arjuna took the battle with Karna. And Karna is shooting arrow, and to Arjuna, it was like a little child playing with his father with a little stick. And Arjuna is like taking those arrows is like a bunch of little straw and he's throwing. Karna was shocked. How is possible he is doing this? How can he be so powerful? I am so powerful and today I feel like I am a little child. I am like not qualified at all. So Arjuna remembered those memories and he thought, oh, I am so powerful. I am so powerful. But today, in this verse, we see, same Arjuna is crying now. And he is reflecting. You know the word reflection? What did Guru Maharaj did for me? Was it actually me? Or was his mercy? Was it me, that big Arjuna? And he's crying and he's telling to Yudhishthira Maharaj, no, it was not me. It was Krishna who empowered me. Because Karna was not ordinary. Karna was as powerful as me. He was not less than me. Jarasandha was not less than Bhima. But it was Krishna who made in that war, just before his presence, he empowered me so much that Karna felt like a little child. But Karna was as powerful as me. But because Krishna's mercy, Krishna made me glorious. It was only his mercy. So what is the difference between material spiritual versus spiritual? When you reflect your life, oh, I am a good cook. Is this really you are a good cook? Or you think like, I was not useful, Gurudev's mercy, he made me useful something, by his mercy he made me good cook to take care the feeding the devotees, taking like this, or cooking for the deities, only by his mercy, and you cry, that is spiritual. If we take any credit, when we joined, you'll probably notice, Jai Prabhupada, all glories to Prabhupada. Why we said it? To develop that mood. Jai Gurudev, Gurudev's mercy. Why we say like this? Why? So that we can revive that mood, natural mood of spiritualism. Spiritual world, they always give the credit to Krishna because Krishna deserves all the credit at all time. It is not something, it's artificially given. Even when Krishna told to Arjuna, which he is doing now in this chapter you will see, Krishna told Arjuna, Sarva guya tamam buya, sriname paramam vacha, ishtoshime dhiramiti tato bhakshamite hitam. Hey Arjuna, let me tell you, the most confidential of all, Sarva guya tamam, guya, guyatara, guyatama, guyatamam. Guya means confidential. Guyatara, more confidential. Guyatama, most confidential. But in this verse he says, Sarva guya tamam buya. The most confidential of all confidential is what? Sriname paramam vacha. Please listen to my advice and act on it. Yes, Arjuna says, yes, Vasudeva, I'm ready. But then question may come, what was this advice? Think of me, manmana bhavamad bhakta. Become my devotee. Majjaji, you worship me, mam namaskuru, and pay obeisances. Oh, Krishna wants our dandavat. Krishna wants dandavat. No, Krishna doesn't want dandavat. But he says, mam namaskuru. He said, pay obeisances to me. No, he said the words before. Tato bhakshami te hitam. For your benefit, you should pay me obeisances. I don't need your obeisances. I don't need your dandavat. For your benefit, tato bhakshami te hitam. Hitam means for your benefit. What does that means? Means if Arjuna pay obeisances to Krishna, when we pay obeisances to Krishna, his false ego disappears. That is needed. For our benefit, we glorify Gurudev. For our benefit, Nija labha purna, manam jana avidusya karunao vinite. Prahlad Maharaj says, when we glorify Krishna, Gurudev, Prabhupada, it's for our benefit. Not that they need glory. It purifies our heart. Then we can come very close to his lotus feet and we'll be perfect candidate to go back home, back to Godhead. But before that, I'll end with this, that we have a relationship with all the devotees surrounding you. You have to remember this. And you have to grow with those family members, with those devotees that live with you, or talk to you, call you. Do not ignore. You have to develop a detachment. Detachment, if you can remember, if Sam Murari Prabhu can write it and give it to the devotee, that detachment is absence of emotional dependence, not absence of emotion. Can somebody tell me what I just said?
Detachment is absence of emotional dependence, not emotion.
No, not absence of emotion.
Not absence.
Mother, if you can write it down and remind the devotees, this is very important. Our relationship will be like this. Not like Dhritarashtra's relationship with the sons. This is what Arjuna is proving, that his relationship was based on that. Not absence of emotion, but he was not depending all those relatives around him. Amongst our God brother, God sister right now, this is necessary. So how do we do it? With the service attitude. For the pleasure of Krishna. I'm going to serve all those devotees. Why? So they will like me. No, that's not spiritual. For the pleasure of Guru Krishna. Just like if Gurudev is taking a trolley, trolley like it's linked one after another, so many. Okay, he has initiated thousands and thousands of disciples. What is the best thing I can do to please Guru now? Be very respectful to all those God brother, God sister. Be service attitude to them. Why? So they will feel to stay in Krishna consciousness. If they stay in Krishna consciousness, they will remember Gurudev. It will please Gurudev and they will all go back home, back to Godhead. That will be the biggest reward in our spiritual life. Everybody understood that point? The best thing we can do to serve the God brother, God sister in a way, not material attachment, not emotional dependence, but for the pleasure of Guru Krishna, for the pleasure of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, for the pleasure of Prabhupada. I have to behave such a way, I have to respect everyone such a way that they feel to stay in Krishna consciousness. That will be the greatest service. I feel that I'll try also, as I'm requesting you all. I'll end here. I'm sorry I went 6 minutes more. Is there any reflection, question, comments? Is there a time for that?
Can you please repeat the sentence you say? Because I don't have a pen, so I will type it.
Detachment.
Detachment is absence of emotional dependence, not absence of emotion. This is coming from Prabhupada's book. This is my way of thinking. It's called Vairagya Vidya. When I joined in Krishna consciousness, there was a book called Vairagya Vidya. 2 books Prabhupada wrote in Bengali. Gitar Gan and Vairagya Vidya. Now they have a different name of that book. I don't know why they changed. There must be some reason. But in early days, they used to call Vairagya Vidya. And I remember I used to read this. So I learned a lot, and Prabhupada wrote, that is the only book he wrote in Bengali beside Gitar Gan. And so this is very important for us. Some reflection.
Yes, like you are saying, like, and sometimes I feel very sad, and 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 uh, and I just remember that what Guru Maharaj would like me to do now.
Yes.
And in fact, and sometimes, so people ask me, people, they say, you have been so close to Guru Maharaj, you must be so devastated. And I was feeling guilty because I still want to do so many things. It's not like I feel regret. I just want to do things. I was feeling guilty. Why I don't have this feeling. So I just think I have to go on. I just continue. So I was questioning myself why I'm not
That is good. That is good, mother. Good realization that we have to keep on going. With that attitude, two things. Krishna Aradha Prabhu and the devotees behind. I can't see the face, but I can see two devotees are there. Two things should be always in the forefront of our forehead. What am I willing to do today that will please Bhakti Charu Maharaj? What am I willing to give up today that will please him? These two things will push us to complete surrender and make Maharaj happy in spiritual world, and he will communicate. I don't like to brag about it, I just had a hazy dream other day. And I was aware that Maharaj disappeared from this world, but it was like on my left side, and Maharaj just came. I said, Maharaj, you are here. And it was very, I was like in between, like, is he here or he's not here? Maharaj said, try to help the other devotees also. Can you? I said, yes, Maharaj, of course, I'll try, definitely. And then I realized, I just woke up, it was a dream. I said, oh. It was a dream, and I felt a little bit emotional, so I cried for a few minutes. But I paid obeisances to Maharaj. I was like, oh, he is here. He is here, he is with us. He can actually communicate better now than before. You may say, how? Because of Suddha Sattva platform. Suddha Sattva platform, this is what required. We need to connect ourselves with Suddha Sattva platform all the time. Because pure Guru, like Bhakti Charu Maharaj, who completely surrendered to Prabhupada, they exist on pure goodness. Where is pure goodness? Everywhere. Sattam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. Na hayate jat praman apabrita. If you have a connection through the photo of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he can talk to you. Through your mind, he can talk to you. Through your heart, he can talk to you. This is the powerful of Shuddha Sattva. That they are more. That's why Prabhupada says, he said he never saw his Guru Maharaj is not with him. He always felt his Guru Maharaj with him. In 4th Canto Bhagavatam purport, Prabhupada writes, now our Guru Maharaj is delivering so many hundreds of people, thousands of people all over the world through his disciple. And you think like, is it Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur delivering? Prabhupada said yes. He saw Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur with him all the time. And he's preaching and using Prabhupada's body to preach. Prabhupada said, I was never separated from my Guru Maharaj. This is important. Dhaneshwar Prabhu asked Prabhupada, how to understand that you accept the offering when I offer some food through the picture? Prabhupada said, I am always with my Guru Maharaj. When I offer, he accepts. You can do the same thing. This is we need to build very strongly within our heart. Sattam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. Na hayate puman apabrita. In that connection, no curtain between Guru and now. If Bhakti Charu Maharaj was in Ujjain, you may be Dilan, you may not feel like connection unless he is in presence physically. But in Suddha Sattva platform, when they depart from this world, they exist in Suddha Sattva platform, in the spiritual world, but through the connection of the heart, he can hear, he can connect you. If you really need him, he will be there. So many devotees reveal that. Ambarish Prabhu was revealing when he was confused about TOBP. Prabhupada gave him inspiration in dream. He told him what to do. Because they are existing in Suddha Sattva. You have now chance. You cannot stay in a physical level. You have to go above. Lift yourself up to have direct connection in Suddha Sattva platform with Bhakti Charu Maharaj. But when you cry, don't cry for yourself. Oh, I miss your presence. That's for you. Our goal is not for my senses. Oh, Guru Maharaj used to tell me, he likes me, he likes my service. Oh, those are good, there's nothing wrong, but these are for selfish motive. What we need now, for the pleasure of his preaching, Prabhupada's preaching mission, what will make him happy, that we need to do. And through that connection, he is always with us. Is that okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment, question, discussion? Or we end? If no,
I heard what you say, because you were with Bhuma just after he left his body.
yes.
So I heard what you were saying, and what did you feel? What did you feel when you entered the room?
He was there to me. I'm not going to speak so much about that experience yet because I'm writing a small article. After I finish, then I will speak.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you. So we'll end here and we'll do once a week by Krishna Aradha Prabhu's inspiration. Radha Aradha Prabhu's inspiration.
Yes.
Okay.
And do we maintain on Monday, Prabhu? Is it okay for you?
Will be okay. I think will be okay. What happened in Monday, I have 3 classes. 11 o'clock I have another Zoom class with Bhakti Sangha Japa, and then 5 to 7 I have Bhakti Shastri big group Zoom. So I was like trying to say like, it's okay, but it just...
We can change. We can change.
Saturday will be better, yes.
Okay. Next week, Saturday.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpa taruvesya kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki jai, Samaveta Vaishnav Binda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare